We are glad you're here with us. As I had just mentioned, we have this next conversation that we will be talking about career choice and consequences. We know that KCSE results were out just the other day, and now, you know, it's all about students trying to pick or know how they get to advance to the next level, what career choices do they need to make. So I have with me ladies who will be talking to us concerning that. I have from my very far right, we have Professor Helen Kende Mberia. She is a life and career coach at Kuza School of Life and the principal, JQ Karen Campus. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And on my immediate right, we have Dr. Catherine Maina. Dr. Catherine Maina is a career coach at Kuza School of Life and is also a lecturer at the Kirinyaga University. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, this is a very timely conversation. I am sure you will agree with me on that. Yeah. And even before we get into that, you know, as I mentioned, KCSE results were just announced the other day. So now there are students who are celebrating, and there are those who feel like, okay, I didn't perform as I expected, or I didn't perform as my parents expected, or I didn't perform as my teachers expected. If you can just start on that note, maybe just to give hope to the ones who feel like failures. And I'll put that in quotes because there's no failure really in life, you know, unless you decide to be a failure. Yeah. But the exams do not, you know, determine on whether you become a failure or not. So maybe if you can just start from that note before we get into picking career choices.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think I can start on that. And indeed, the results are out for 172 students, the Form 4 leavers. And some have celebrated, indeed, and others are feeling that they have not met their expectations. I would wish to start by congratulating all the students. There is no student or Form 4 leaver who is a failure.
For sure.
In fact, this is just a stage, and as it is in this country, every learner has an opportunity. And therefore, getting a grade or a score of D or A or C+ does not mean that your life, if you did not pass to get a direct entry to university, that your life is over. I want to encourage those students who have even lower than C+, that there is an opportunity for them. There is a career opportunity for them, and therefore I would want to encourage them. They only require guidance so that they can choose or select that career that is suitable for them in terms of their personality, skills, and abilities.
Yeah.
No failure.
There's no failure.
There is no
honestly,
failure.
You know,
yes.
Your strengths in life also have a part to play, not just you excelling in your education, but we'll get into that. So yes. Probably what would be your word for them?
Okay, I would want to say that this is just a stage in life, and what you score now does not define your future. There's so much ahead of everyone, every student, and it's just a question of identifying what are your strengths and pursuing that which is in harmony with your strengths. So in that case, whether you've scored an A, whether you've scored a B, a C, all the way up to E, there's something that you're good at, and if you pursue it, you would excel in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that message was for the students. How about the parents? Because sometimes they're the ones who give these children actually more pressure. You know, yes. Some even get to a point where they get to commit suicide and all that, or they become depressed because of what their parents are saying to them from what they got, you know, yes. in their final examination. So maybe just a word to the parents.
Yes, Vivian, it is true that when the results were released last week, I know some parents celebrated and others are very disappointed. They feel that the child has not given them what they expected, and they have made very severe comments, comments that have tried to injure the child. And I want to speak to the parents and say, parents and guardians, that the comments or your reaction can either grow the child or injure the child for life. And therefore we should be very cautious on how we respond to the success or to what you may perceive as not success of your child. And I have 3 things that a parent should think about when they are trying to make a comment or react to the performance of the KCSE. 1, the parent or the guardian or a sibling should ask, is the comment true? Yes. Is the comment kind? Yes. Is the comment necessary? If the comment you are going to make does not measure up to those 3 factors, then you would rather just be quiet. Because we have to be very sensitive about the comments that we make towards the performance of these Form 4s. And therefore, parents and guardians, be cautious. Appreciate what the child has brought forth and work with it. There are opportunities for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, let's get into now the career choice and the consequences that maybe may arise from that. When it comes about choosing a career path, what factors should one begin by considering?
There are many, many factors. And I would want to say at this juncture that these KCSE results is just but one. There are several other factors that one needs to put into consideration. And in Kuza School of Life, the organization I mentor in, we want to tell the student that while a grade is crucial, look at yourself beyond your grade. Look at what is your personality like. Because there are some people who are wired naturally for some careers, and others are wired for others. So even if your grade is A, that doesn't make you a doctor. You need to look at your personality. You need to look at your abilities. What are you good at? No one trained you, but somehow you're good at it. You need to ask yourself, what is it that I like? Other people have their own preferences, but this is your life. What is it that you like? You need to ask yourself, what are your values? Because there are some careers that will go contrary to your values, and you have a value system. For example, there are people who value honesty, integrity. There are people who value environment. So they would rather pursue careers that will protect the environment they value. There are others who value power. So they want careers that are in tandem with power. So look at your value system before you pursue a certain career path. More importantly, now we have the supplemental factors. For example, what is the government agenda? So that your career should somehow align to the agenda of the government of the day. In Kenya now we have government 4 agenda. We're talking about health. We are talking about affordable housing, among others. So whatever choice of career, is it in harmony with the government of the day? Is it in harmony with the world trends? What is the world trend now? We are very keen now about environment. The world is going technology. So as you choose your career, don't choose it in isolation of what is happening around you. Yes.
You should also be, aware of the things happening, of maybe that the path that maybe the world is following or is following at the moment. And I want to pick up on what she said and ask you, what role does one's strength or one's values play when choosing or when picking the career you want to run with? Okay,
as she has identified, you find that there are those factors that play a very big role. Now, look at personality. If you align your personality to your career choice, you would actually flow in that career very easily. And we have scholars like John Holland who looked at 6 types of personalities that are aligned to careers. Now, if you realize that you love engineering careers, you can be described as a person who is in the realistic personality. And that kind of a person will love to work with tools, with equipment, love repair and maintenance of maybe equipment, and so many other things. And you find that they work alone. Now, if you identify now, your personality is that we call realistic personality, and you align it now to a career, you will get some fulfillment. Or if you identify your strength and then align it. Fulfillment and satisfaction comes forth. Now, when you come to KUSA School of Life, there are a number of things we do to ensure that the personality of the student or a learner is matched to the career. We do what we call personality assessment. And therefore, among the 6 personalities related to careers, which one is identified for you? And therefore, which careers are suitable? And I'll tell you, the Form 4 results are out, right? And we have 3 categories of students. There are students that we call, there are students who are very certain. We call them the Najua students. They know exactly what they want. If I want engineering, I know it. I know the various options in engineering. I know civil engineering. I know mechatronics. I know all that. And they know the universities that offer them and the cut-off points. And then there is another category of students that is called nafikiria, or I think. Nafikiria naweza fanya hii ama hii. Those ones, they have a general idea of a career path. Maybe they want social sciences, and they know there are some social sciences careers, but sijui ni gani. Nafikiria naweza fanya BCom, nafikiria naweza fanya maybe BBIT or something else, like Bachelor of Business and Information Technology. And then we have another category of Form 4 leavers, wenye wanaitwa sijui. They are clueless. They do not know what they want. Therefore, we at KUSA School of Life, we are able now to categorize them and offer them the guidance that they deserve. We have seen 3 categories. Najua, nafikiria, na sijui. Where tell me what you think I'm good at. And there are percentages to tell the numbers. We have 13% of the Najua student. And we have 24% of the nafikiria student and 63% of sijui. And therefore, it is important to be able to know your strength, your values, your skills and abilities, so that once we align to your career, then there will be no big problems, because there are consequences of a wrong career choice. And I think maybe that will be coming.
Yeah, that will definitely be coming up in our conversation. You know, the consequences of picking the wrong career. But I want to get on to what you've just told us about. This is new. You said there are numbers to this. You know, the Najua, the nafikiria, and the sijui. And clearly, 63% is a big number of those who feel like I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. You know, like you tell me, what do you think I can do? What career? You know, so maybe when exactly should we start introducing these conversations? The career choice conversations to the young ones. Maybe when exactly should we start, you know, bringing these ideas to them, so that they start looking at themselves, start saying, okay, what am I good at, what do I enjoy doing, what are my strengths, you know, even in my education, you know, what subjects am I. When exactly should we start pumping this information into their minds, so that we also get to reduce this number of sijui? You know, you finished Form 4, but you really don't have an idea of what you would love to pursue.
Yes, I think that is really something good to ask at this point, because this issues career, they're really a journey. It's not an event. It's not something that should be now this is the grade and this is the career. It's a journey that you're supposed to have started a lot earlier. Apparently that doesn't happen, but we want to say it should start at home, so that a parent is able to identify the strengths of the child early enough, based on what you observe them do, based on what you see they're able to do without strain. This should be taken up by schools, so that in schools, as we are speaking, schools do have career guidance departments, but these schools are limited to the extent they can do this, because in the school environment it's more about performance, it's more about grades. And so even though the department, you know, is existing, there's so little that they can do. Some of the teachers lack time, others may even lack a capacity to do this. So it should actually be taken from home to school, and after school there is need for this child to also look for career coaches like we, who will actually expose you to the many things, you know, that are out there that are unpursued, that you probably have no clue about. Yes, and so at you know, our training institution, we want this child to really know themselves. We expose them even to the career dynamics, because now what you realize that we are getting away from the traditional teaching, medicine, we know there is a lot more out there that the child might be ignorant about, that the parent might be ignorant about, but when we interact with this, now we are able to narrow them down to what is appropriate for them. And at this juncture, I would want to say that the idea of offering career guidance was actually brought forth from the kind of frustrations that we see our students experience at the university. There are a lot of changes from course A to B, the high rate of dropouts, the frustrations, some behavior that is not right because the child is already frustrated in the career path that they found themselves in, and so they're going to, do other things that are away from academics. So that now tells us that there are certain gaps that are there at home. They're also there in our education system, and somebody somewhere needs to pick it up. Apparently, that somebody somewhere happens to be some of these two ladies and other members of a team who are not here, who engage in these career guidance.
So it should start as early as possible, and it should begin from home with the parents identifying what you're good at and what not. But also, as we speak about that, maybe the parents taking up that mantle of also working on just assessing their child to know what are they good at, maybe what would be good for them to pursue. Let's also have in mind that there are, even as I speak to my peers, you realize that there are those who went to school, got a degree on this particular, career, but it was just for the parents. So you hear them say, I got that degree, took it home, and it's there now, I'm doing what I love. So also, where do we draw the line?
Okay. And if that's a correct observation, in fact, Vivian, you have heard about these cases, whereby parents are insisting and compelling their children to pursue a certain career path because this is our family. Our family is good at engineering, and therefore you have to be aligned to follow that lineage of engineers because it is our family. Some, they do it very successfully, but others feel that is not for me. I cannot pursue engineering. I'm very good at social sciences. Now, to the parents, it is important to note that you have given birth to this child, but this child is very unique, and the child is configured different. Your children, if you have 4, they could be configured and wired differently because they have a unique DNA. And therefore, if 3 or 2 of your children are engineers, others could be join artistic careers. And therefore, the parents should not judge for their children. Of course, you've given birth to your child, but you are not entitled to live the life of your child. Let us give the children freedom to choose that which they love, they are good at, can pay them, and the world requires. In fact, the Ikigai model, which is a Japanese model, highlights this very well, that an individual, to have a meaningful life and to identify their purpose in life, should identify a career that they are good in, they love to do, the world requires that career, and it can pay them, they monetize. So parents and guardians should not impose careers on their children, but they have a big role. The role is to support, to guide, and empower them. Then when the child brings the results and wants a certain career, especially the Najuan group, then please support and empower. But there is that issue of the parent feeling like the career the child has chosen or wants to pursue is not classy enough, is not prestigious, is not elite, is not elevating them. They need these careers that have a name. But a career, whether a name or not, if it's not suitable for your child, it is not suitable for your child. Allow the child the freedom to choose, but offer guidance and expose the child to mentors and career coaches if you are not clear. Then Gen Z, then Gen X actually, then Generation X, who are we the parents, we have very limited knowledge, and I'm saying this with a lot of fear of people thinking otherwise of the careers. When we were in the university, we knew very few career options. We knew teaching, BCom, and all that. And that is what many parents know. They are not aware of the modern careers, the new age careers, the new landscape of careers. Therefore, and our children are very, very informed. And therefore, it is important for us as parents to offer guidance and support and not to impose.
Okay,
yes.
Very well put there. They say there's a saying that says, you know, do what you love and you will never work a day in your life.
Oh, yes.
Right? So maybe can one be able to assess whether a career or a job will be fulfilling to them in the long run? Is there a way to assess that?
Just before I respond to that, I would want to just take one point further from where Prof has left it.
Go on.
And say that parents and we guardians have something that we call prestigious careers, marketable careers. We have useless careers also. And I want to say that this is a myth, that there are no marketable careers, there are marketable people. Oh. You'll be marketable in whatever field you're in if you do what that field requires you to do. And so their parents, we parents want our daughters and sons to pursue the careers that we never made it to. I decided to be a doctor, I decided to be an engineer, or whatever other line of career. Now I want my son to pick it up from where I stopped. And we have no room for any failure. We are like, we take that position that I was always the best. And that's why when this son comes with a C, we are like, who have you taken after? Because you wanted the engineer that you never became to come out of your child. And I think this is actually not right.
Yeah.
It is almost bordering being immoral. Because this is someone's life, and let them be, support what they are. We have seen people make a life, and very happy out of careers that would not fit on their prestigious list. But they are happy, they are excelling in it, and everybody wishes they were them, right? So that is very important. Now, let's get back to your question. Maybe you can remind me what it was about.
How can one actually be able to assess whether a career or job that they are taking or they are in will be fulfilling to them in the long run?
Okay, I think that is quite well answered by some of the factors that I talked about as part of what you are going to consider. Part of which is what Prof has elaborated on your personality. That if your career is aligning with who you are, and I would just want to give a small example, that within the career personalities, we have a personality that we refer to as conventional. And you'll realize that even in a family, you may be a mother or a father of 2 or 3, and each of these children they each have a bedroom. And you get to a bedroom, someone's bedroom, and the socks is on the bed, the book is under the table, everything is everywhere. But they're still in the same house where you get into your child's bedroom, and even if there were no lights, they can pick something from where they know where everything is. If you go to their desk in class, they know where they put their mathematics book, they know where they put their pen, they know where they put their ruler. They don't look for anything. While another child, the teacher is already in class, 3-5 minutes, they're still facing back, trying to remember who they had given their mathematics book and all that. What does that tell you? That this child who is so organized is probably wired for managerial professions. They are wired for conventional courses. They are keen to detail, they are orderly, they are, administrators. They would make very good administrators and so on. So that's why we are saying that you can start noticing this fulfillment at a distance if what you're choosing is aligning with your person. If it is something that you do without strain. For example, when you're given an opportunity to talk, you're not vegetating, you're not doing maps of Africa with your toes naturally. So this is a person who would do well in the media, who would do well in teaching professions and stuff like that. So these are some of the considerations that one may really have to look at, because if you're doing it naturally, then there's no strain.
Yeah.
You know, if you're placed in a career that is in line, you're not likely to get into conflicts with other people because you already know what your space is. Right. Yeah.
Okay. You started by mentioning the issue of having marketable careers and whatnot, and you said it's one of the myths. You know, so maybe if you can just talk about some career myths that should be demystified.
That's a nice one, Vivian. Now, let's start with the myth about there are useless careers in the market. Who said they are useless? What are the indicators of a useless career? Take, for instance, the Kenyan context. All the programs, all the courses go through development, review, and approval by bodies that have been put in place. Like university courses or programs are approved by Commission for University Education. So the people who develop these programs make sure they observe, analyze the market, and they know what is needed and develop them. And therefore, there is no useless course. Because also, it has become a perception that if you think that career is not paying well, it is useless. Now, in Kenya, there is that attachment of a career and the money or the paycheck. Now, my question is, we cannot all be thinking about the paycheck before we think about our career. And a career that we are passionate about. We say that when you do something that you love, money follows. But we are starting with money. How much? What kind of salary will I be paid when I pursue this career? And that is the basics that we are using to call some useless, to call some top careers, prestigious careers, and all that. Yes, if it is regarded as prestigious and you are not configured for it, then no. Another myth is that, and this is more with the parents, that you need to pursue a career that will enable you go outside the country. Now, and this is an area where parents are pushing their children to pursue nursing because there is that understanding that there are careers outside. And therefore the child goes out there to choose a career, that there are opportunities outside the country. It is okay to go outside the country and study. But now you cannot just select a career just because it will take you outside the country. You may go out there and get very frustrated and then come back because what you chose to take you abroad is not that which is suitable for you. Then also the other myth is about family careers. That I think we have talked about, that there could be those careers that are successfully been in families, but they may not be suitable for all of us. Pursue that which you love and that which you are good at. Therefore, there are several careers. And then I think several myths. I want to give another one that students used to change from one course to another. The myth about simple careers. That there are some simple careers, and if I pursue these simple careers, I will pass, and then I will not have to work very hard. Simple for who? You know, an engineer may say that BCom is simple. But given a chance to pursue, the engineer will face very many challenges. What I'm saying is there are no simple careers or just useless careers. Careers are careers and professions.
Yes. As we almost come to an end of this conversation, maybe we can quickly talk about the consequences of being in the wrong career.
Yes, the consequences.
Of picking the wrong career.
Yes, the consequences are really many. And they can be looked at the individual level. They can be looked at the family level. They can be looked at the society level. I'm sure, Vivian, you have been to hospital one time or another, or any other space, and you were served, and you looked at the person who was serving you, and you wondered whether they were forced to be in that room.
I'm sure we've all experienced that.
Yes, we have all experienced that. You go to a school, it's about a child, maybe your parent, and you relate with a teacher, and you are like, oh, is this really one wired to be a teacher? And you leave that place as a very frustrated parent. Because when you take your child to a teacher, you're taking to the profession. So you don't expect now the profession now to start, you know, like behaving like your child is so unique in the negative. They're supposed to know how to cope. They're supposed to be patient with this child. So some of these people are people who are not in the right careers, that even the society is affected out there. Have you ever asked yourself, why do we have buildings that are collapsing? If you loved engineering, and you are the engineer responsible for a building, even if the owner of that building asked you to go for shortcuts, you will not agree. Because you love what you do, you want to see it perfect. But if you are there because you are driven by money, family, career, and all those other myths that Prof has talked about, then and the owner wants you to do the ratio of cement and blah, 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 the wrong way to save cost, you will still do it, isn't it? Now, so when we're talking about roads that are done, and in a day or two they have potholes, it's really a question of, is this person doing what they love? So when we are talking about consequences at the societal level, they are glaring. We look at families. When you insist that a child takes a particular career path as a parent, then along the way they get very frustrated. Then the blame game begins at the family level. Ni wewe ilikuwa yako. The father says, I had asked him to do this. You changed him to do this and that and that. Consequence is rather obvious. You start seeing divisions between parents. And you see parents are supposed to be united so that they can support the child. But if every one of them pulls on their side, on each side, then you expect problems, right? Look at this employee who is, you know, you look at them, alcohol, they're drinking at the wrong time. Why? It's because there's no joy at the workplace. They are always on collision path because this person was wired to be an engineer. They want to work alone. But the parents of somebody somewhere push them into a big com office, into journalism, where maybe the talent they needed is gap.
You need to be social.
Yes, you need to be social. This person is frustrated. They would rather be in their own space in a laboratory doing some experiments here and there. They would rather be alone. But now you have put them in a group, and so they are very frustrated. So you see frustrations at the individual level, at family level, at society level, and I can say a lot more. But we already see this in our spaces.
Okay. We need to wind up, and maybe just this is for probably there's a Form 4 leaver who's watching the show right now, or a parent of a Form 4 leaver, or someone who wants to make a decision on what career path to take. Maybe very quickly, just the simple questions to ask yourself, you know, to sit with yourself and ask yourself this. What are these questions that one should ask themselves?
Thank you. If you are there and you are Form 4 leaver or a parent to a Form 4 leaver, these are some 3 or 4 questions you need to ask yourself. The first question is, have I performed? Yes. I have a grade? Yes. What do I love doing? This is what I love doing. Am I good at it? Yes. What are the career options that can be aligned to what I love and I'm good at? Then you research or you explore the career options that are available. Then number 5, you ask yourself, what are the opportunities that are there? I have the career options, these are the ones. What are the career opportunities that are there? And then you get to focus. Which path now do I focus on? And after focusing on that path, then you get the next question, what action do I need to take? And therefore, of course, there will be placement, the selection, and then the placement. Therefore, those 4 questions of what I love, what am I good at, what job opportunities are there, what careers can I now focus on, and finally, what action do I need to take? And in case the parent or the Form 4 leaver is not able to answer any of those questions, they can reach out to Kuza School of Life, where we are the coaches and the mentors. We are online as Kuza School of Life in all the online platforms. And they are welcome to reach out.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Professor Mberia and Dr. Maina, for joining us for this very, very important conversation. We appreciate your input in this. All right, this is where we end Good Morning Kenya for today. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who has been tuned in. Remember, we do this each and every weekday from 6:30 a.m. to around 9:40, 9:50 p.m. My name is Vivian Dagwa. We do this again tomorrow, same time and place. God willing. Goodbye.